What is today? Today is Friday, July 7th. Already. What do y'all know? The year is over, halfway over already. Good morning, Tony. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well this morning. Man, I cannot believe that 2023 is over, halfway over already. Wow. Good. Glad you're doing all right. Man, I'll tell you what, after last night, I woke up. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it. I've only been out of bed like 20 minutes. Had had a certain someone have to call me last night and talk for over an hour. Past my bedtime. Count down to squirrel stew. That sounds so good. It's been years since I've had squirrel stew. Or rabbit, for that matter. And you would think, as many of them little bastards we got running around the yard out here, I'd be having squirrel stew all the time. Little black ones and little pineys, and which, I mean, there's about as much meat on a piney squirrel as there's a mole. But hey, squirrel season. By God, that works. Yeah, tree rats. You got it. You got it. But yeah, I didn't want to go into a lot of typing detail last night during the premiere, but I absolutely positively deserve all the nasty things that you said about me for not going live. But I'll tell you what, I was mad. That was the only bad thing about this week going out camping was that Derecho came through last weekend down there, and I mean the whole park was full of down trees. There were trees down on the highway. Crews were working. I don't know if it had just came through on Sunday or what the deal was, but the town closest to the park had no power for like 2 days. Um, the park had no power. They actually kicked on the generators just to light the bathrooms. Um, no hot water, no electricity in the electrical campsites, which is good because that just makes people have to rough it a little bit. But we couldn't figure out why the park was so empty on 4th of July holiday. And then we got back to our site, and we the girls went to take a shower and realized, hey, wait, there's no hot water. So we went up to the ranger station, and the girl didn't even realize the sign had fallen down outside. They had taped to the outside of the building. She said, yeah, we had a real bad storm, like 80-mile-an-hour winds come through and messed everything up. I said, I was worried about all these trees down. Let me see here. I got to squint. My eyes not doing well this morning. Good morning, Sarah. Good to see you, honey. Hope you're doing well this morning. About time you got here, woman. But yeah, I was even gonna live stream Monday night. from the site, but I had zero phone service. The entire 3 days we were there, all I had was a circle with a slash mark through it. Sister passed away. Oh man, I'm sorry, Tony. Passed away on the 3rd. Wow, just a few days ago. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. None of my family has contacted me yet. Wow. I am so sorry, bud. Good morning, Christine. Hope you're doing well down there in Australia this morning. Gunmetal Guy, good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Good morning, Mike. Oh, Mr. Mike the Gun Guy. Mr. A.R. Pop Pop Pop. We weren't really close. What's up with your hair? My hair. Should have seen it before I did that to it. Only been out of bed like 20 minutes. I was on the phone with Tyler and Brenna till after 11 last night. And then, of course, I had the little black hellion want to come up and sleep with me last night and play and everything, probably about 1. Then the wife woke me up when she got home a little bit before 3. And now here I am sitting here just after 8. And I'm great working. My work week has finished. Yes. Cool. That's great. How was the lake? We didn't go to the lake. We went down west central Indiana camping, and it was black, and it was dark, and it was full of little trash panda bandits that will come up and tear your camp up even if you don't leave out food. I speak fluent typo. Yeah, he did. He missed his papa. Obviously, he's not left me alone since we got home Wednesday midday. Matter of fact, he's laying right outside the door right now. Come on, focus, doggone it. Makes it really hard to read this little teeny tiny stuff. Had my youngest granddaughter here the 3rd. What a brat. Answer for trash panda is something tipped with lid that goes bang. Now, I'll tell you what, you would have had to change clips a couple times. We had a lot of them. I mean, those things came in like velociraptors. You had one of them that was kind of little and playful, and he would move in when you're sitting in a chair right up against the wood's edge. He'd come in at the end of the row of chairs, and then he'd come walking in right beside you, and he'd look at the table or look at the campfire, look at who's moving. Then he'd look up at you. Then he'd back into the tree line again. Then he'd come out clear down at the end again, and he'd look down at you, and he'd look back. You could tell they're used to being around people because they have no fear. He was literally walking right up beside my chair. I mean, he was 16 inches from my leg. Yeah. Hey, Tony Lee. Good to see you, bud. Hope you and Katie are doing well over there in the UK. That's what a coonhound is for. Well, I got about as much luck having a coonhound around here as I have something to shoot a coon with. So. But I know this really cool guy who has a brand new AR. So I told the wife, I said, she asked me what I thought about it, and I said, well, I'll never shoot it. And then I stopped and I said, unless we go camping down at Shades State Park again, then I might shoot it. Several times. Just clean everything off the top of the picnic table. At one point in time, we had, I think we counted 15 of them in camp, and it all started with one, about 10 pounds. And it moved into some coons, 30, 35 pounds. I mean, big coons. I don't know if they were friendly or not. They got into, the daughter thought she stuck a bag of her, they got these things called freeze-dried Skittles. And they're big and poofy. They still got the shell on them, but they're swollen up in the center and everything. And she thought she put it in the cooler. She didn't. She left it sitting on the picnic table. And one of them got a hold of this bag of Skittles and took it out. Now, understand, these things are perfectly round being puffed up like this, so they roll. He took off running between the cars and ripped the bag open, and these Skittles went everywhere, and all of a sudden it was a gang war. It was... I mean, for every direction, these things come running over those cars. There must be 120 of those Skittles in that bag. And these things were little devil monsters trying to eat them Skittles up. Army deployment, that's exactly what it was like. Good morning, Rusty. Good to see you, bud. Where does one find freeze-dried Skittles? We found them at a gas station down there. Never seen them before, but they got Skittles. They've got freeze-dried saltwater taffy. They have the orange slices. They have 4 or 5 different kinds of candy. Somebody thought it would be cool to freeze-dry these things and make them poof up and then throw them in a bag and sell them. Never heard of anything like that before. Still very weak. But still here. You see my email. Being gone for the last 3 days, or being gone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I did not see it. And I've been so busy catching things up since I got back, I've not even looked at my email. God knows what I've gotten there. But I will look for it. Sarah. We are surviving. Yeah, you need to survive. I'm sure you are still very weak. I mean, you know, I dealt with that stroke thing for 7 years, dealing with Grandma. And I mean, she had a major stroke. And the only thing that was affected on her was that speech part, a little bit on the speech part and a little bit on the memory part. But other than that, it's like I keep telling her, you know, she could have been laying in a bed peeing on herself after a major stroke, but no, nothing else was affected. Her physical structure, her mobility, nothing changed after that. And a stroke is nothing to play with, man. That terrifies the hell out of me. I know I got a strong heart. My cardiologist has told me that multiple times. But a stroke or something from one of these blood clots, it terrifies the hell out of me, man. The diabetes has messed my memory up enough. I don't even want to think about a stroke. No, they don't. They don't make them themselves. It's a company that makes them. It's free at the White House. Yeah, yeah. What do you think about that? Cocaine found in the White House. Wow. NHS. All right, good. Sherford. I don't know if you guys have picked this up on the news, but I, 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 I seen it last night, and it's like cocaine in the White House. Hmm. Now the question is it Hunter's or is it Joe's? No, no, I don't work today. I've got the live stream, then I've got to go up and talk to Sonny at the bar today at 11. Um, every single time I request a day off at the restaurant, it's like I get punished and hardly work at all that entire week that I request time off. Like I requested 2 days off this past week, I've worked 2 days. Um, and now all of a sudden I'm on 5 days in a row next week, and it's all long hours because he knows it messes with my knees and everything when I'm not doing it every day. Um, so yeah, he's got me working not only the weekend, but he's got me working on the 2 days off that I'm supposed to get off every week, which is the days off that my wife is off work. Then he's got me working nights and he's got me working days. I went and talked to Sonny yesterday. I told Sonny, screw that shit. I want to be your pizza dude. So all I want to do is make pizzas. He said, I be there tomorrow at 11. So that's just it, Tony. There is no money. I would normally say I agree with you completely, but there is no money. He's added this new charge for carryout containers, and people don't want to tip now because they believe that's the tip when they're getting charged $2 or $3 for takeout containers, but yet we have no room for inside dining, so you have to carry out your food. So people aren't making any money. He's already lost. He's lost 3 people in a week. So hey, Mark, good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well today. What is bloody damn? There it goes. Couldn't get the chat to slide. Let's try. So I guess time to move on. Yeah, the charging them extra thing is his way of making. See, he just paid $50,000 to get the lots redone. Before winter gets, he wants to have the deck, the tiki bar, and the pizza oven put in. That's another $180,000. Um, and then he wants to turn around at the end of the year and close for 3 months during December, January, and February, maybe into the beginning of March, which is going to put everybody out of work. And the way unemployment works around here, 9 times out of 10, it's going to take you 2 months or longer to get approved for unemployment. And then you'll get like 2 or 3 or 4 checks, and then they'll find out you're back to work and they'll cut your checks off. So you never get your unemployment here for the time you're off work. I've been working a lot lately. I heard you had a great time camping, except the raccoon problem. No, the raccoons weren't bad. The raccoons were fun. The raccoons were fun. There's just a lot of them, and they were organized. They were like a military unit. They were organized. They had scouts. They had an assault team. Good morning, Ty. You fuzzy bastard. Hope you're doing well this morning. I'm having a drink while I watch Tony. Dude, the way I'm feeling right now, I wish I could lay back down and go back to sleep. I got in bed about a half hour after we got off the phone last night. And of course, it took my normal 45 minutes to fall asleep. Then I had Ralph up on my chest, wanting to lick my goatee and kiss on me and stuff. And then he laid down beside me on his back and wanted to lick my hand wherever I tried to position it at. And then he got up on the pillow and purred like a generator. I think I was awake 3 or 4 times before Steph got home and woke me up. Then I had to wake up in the middle of the night because it got hotter than hell in there, even with the air conditioner on. So yeah, it was a very interesting night. We're ready to do some business. Save me a seat and a drink. Would ask why. Probably ain't the place. Good morning, Brenna. Hope you're doing good this morning. But it was a very, very interesting morning getting ready for this. We'll just say I got up at 20 minutes till 8. Hadn't even filled the coffee pot yet. So had to get the coffee pot set up, get myself cleaned up, get dressed, give Ralph and George their morning lovins, and well, I made it. It's hard until work starts in August, but being hopeful. Just want to drink while I stay hopeful. Getting around for another day of work. Just remember, don't watch YouTube and chat while you're in the shower. Tendency of phones not want to operate properly after that. So that's your public service announcement for the day. Do not watch YouTube and chat while you're in the shower. Hey everyone, you're gonna have a great day. Take care of yourself. Ty, get with you soon. Drew, I'll see you sometime today. Sounds good, bud. Sounds good. I'll be around. I'll take advantage of any alcohol-induced opportunities. Liar. Good morning, fishing. Get a Powerball ticket. Yeah, okay. The way I always looked at the Powerball is the people who have played it for years and years and years and basically donated shitloads of money are usually the ones who sooner or later win. I mean, they don't pull even. It's like I always told my mom and dad. They started playing the lottery 30 years ago, and it's like you guys are going to win the Powerball, and you're not even going to pull even. That's all there is to it. You buy 5 tickets every week. I said, if you take all that money, I said, 52 weeks a year, you pay $1 or you pay $5 every week for 52 weeks. I said, that's kind of like winning the lottery at the end of the year. 1754, King's College in New York City opens, renamed Columbia College. Woohoo! We got us a little bit of today in history with Rusty. It's been too long. Too long. I'll get a ticket if I win. I'll share it with y'all. I'm still looking for that wealthy benefactor to back us up. Ain't come knocking at my door yet. I'm thinking whoever told them about me, give them the wrong address. There's been no wealthy benefactor drop off a briefcase full of money here yet. (1777) American Revolutionary War, Battle of Hubbardton. Pretty cool. I know some family from out that way named the Hubbards. Spelled the same way, Hubbard. 1798, Quasi-War. The U.S. Congress rescinds treaties with France, sparking the war. 2 more days. Yes, sir, 2 more days. We might have a special guest Monday morning. I'm not really sure yet. It depends on how tired they are and if they want to sleep on the pull-out sofa. But we got a couple of Iowanians coming this way for just a couple days. So we'll see what happens. 1802, first comic book, The Wasp, is published in Hudson, New York, criticizing Republican politics. I won £10, smallest prize on each of Britain's first ever lotteries back in the 90s. Didn't get third time lucky. Never even played it for over 20 years now. When it gets like way up there here, like our Powerball or something, when it gets to $10 million or $20 million or something like that, I'll go out and I'll buy a ticket if I have the money. But that's it, because I've got this game plan laid out where I want to win enough that I can, give, like $1 million to each of my kids. I can put $1 million in a bank account for Ash for when she turns 21. Felix, whatever. I want to give my mom and dad $1 million so they can pay off the house, take that trip to the Southwest they always wanted to take. Completely remodel this place, build on a larger, more advanced studio and everything that's actually big enough for all my crap, and then put the money in the bank. Put the rest of it in the bank and just live off the interest. I want to be looking down from a fluffy cloud watching everybody fight over what's left in the bank when I die. So that's why I only play when it gets like super, super big. I got a game plan. 1862 Land Grant Act endows state colleges with federal land. 1863 First military draft by U.S. Exemptions cost $100. Orders barring Jews from serving under U.S. General Ulysses S. Grant are revoked. What caused the fall of Rome? Corruption? The division of the empire? Bad architecture. Cat fight. Sound like raccoons? Just not as many of them. Execution of Lincoln's assassins, 1865, Mary Surratt, Lewis Powell, David Harold, and George Atzerodt are executed for their role in the conspiracy to assassinate U.S. President Abraham Lincoln. Katie occasionally buys a scratch card. The little scratchies are nice once in a while, but my God, you never win any money on them. Nothing to, I mean, I guess a little bit. Enough to go out and buy more scratchies with. 1874, 27th Postmaster General James W. Marshall of New Jersey takes office. But yeah, Mark, I know you've been working a lot, man. You've been working a lot. I've been trying to find someplace like super close that we could get an investigation in on. I would really like to go back to that place in the south end of Niles right there, where Tommy and Amy and I went last year. I don't know who I'd even contact. I mean, it's an old cemetery. It's not that big. It's basically in town. But you got to go up a little dirt lane, and there's houses basically all around the damn thing. But the hedge is up, there's woods line and stuff where nobody can actually get into the cemetery from any of those directions. But I'd like to go back out there with this more advanced equipment and see what we can find, because we got a lot of activity out there when we all went out. Uh, 1875, Jesse James robs train in Otterville, Missouri. 1876, Hamburg Massacre. White farmers attack a black militia in Hamburg, South Carolina, with 7 killed. No, it's not the Mission Cemetery. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I don't remember the name of that bloody place. I'll have to send it to you after the stream. I've got it written down somewhere. I just don't remember where. It's named after that little area there at the south end of Niles. Back when it was a logging community, then the community fell down and Niles kind of encompassed it, assimilated it. That's a good word. But it was a different town at one time, and it died out. So Niles assimilated the town, but they kept the name of the cemetery. There was at one time a little church right there in the middle of the cemetery, but now all that's left is a concrete foundation. 1891, Marcellus F. Berry, an American Express employee, is granted 4 copyrights for what he called the Traveler's Check. Cool. 1898, U.S. President McKinley signs the Organic Act to annex Hawaii. Be right back. Got to get more coffee. Just do it the lazy man's way, dude. Ta-da! It's a magic trick. More coffee. 1905, 127 degrees Fahrenheit, Parker, Arizona, state record. Black no sugar. 1908, the Democratic Party meets in Denver at the start of their convention. William Jennings Bryan is nominated as presidential nominee. I believe that is the Mission Cemetery. I don't know. Let me see if I can do it this way. It's really going to bother me because this cemetery is just a little bit away from Fort St. Joseph. Maybe it is St. Joseph Cemetery. I don't know. I'm going to have to investigate that. I'm going to have to investigate that. Uh, 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 1908, U.S. Navy's Great White Fleet leaves San Francisco Bay. When it comes to 1923, University of Delaware invents junior year abroad. Hold on. Hey, my eyes cleared up. Wow. When it comes to coffee, I can't drink it straight black. I prefer not to have my first cup or two straight black, but I didn't have the money to buy any creamer when we got back, probably because of the 2 days I worked last week. Um, but yeah, I'm getting some today. This is 2 days, and actually, no, it isn't, because yesterday morning I put this in my coffee. I had yay much left in the bottle from the camping trip, and I finished off the last cup of Irish coffee that I had yesterday morning because there was only about that much in the jar. So I had Irish coffee yesterday morning, and that was it. University of Delaware. Okay, that's it. I get right on that Johnny. Down cream and sugar. Gave me ulcer. 1928, sliced bread sold for the first time by the Chillicothe Baking Company, Missouri. Chillicothe Baking Company in Missouri? I know about Chillicothe, Ohio. Describes the greatest fourth step in baking industry. Better than sliced bread, isn't it? Buy iced coffee carton. Churro flavored. Just poured in a glass with ice. Sounds like my wife. If she's not making her own, she's buying it like that. 1930, construction begins on Boulder Hoover Dam. Herbert Hoover Dam. Wait, what was that? 1936, RCA shows first real TV program, Dancing Film on... Wait, am I messed up again? Dancing Film on Locomotives, Bonwit Teller Fashion Show. A dancing film on locomotives. Okay. And thank you for the blessing, sir. I appreciate that. What creamer do I use? Whatever's on sale. Usually, if I can find it, I'll get like sweet Italian sweet cream. But it's pretty much whatever's on sale, except for French vanilla. I cannot do French vanilla. I don't know why. But Italian sweet cream or Irish sweet cream are my favorites. Good coffee, not scotch. I could do Baileys and coffee, but not scotch. I love me some Baileys, believe me. 1948, 6 female reservists become first women sworn into regular U.S. Army. 1949, Dragnet premieres NBC Radio. Also, TV series 51 to 67. Bangs head on desk. Television premiere 1956. Hancock, half hour. Premieres as TV show starring Tony Hancock and Sid James, written by Ray Galton and Alan Simpson. Why do people want to fuck up perfectly good coffee? Because they try to make it better, dude. They try to make it better. You know, it's like always reinventing the mousetrap.
Oh, it needs to be less painful, and it needs to not be as traumatic.
No, death is, you know, don't reinvent it. So what? We're not gonna kill them when the spring lets go and snaps their little neck or their little back or whatever. So we're gonna come out with live traps. Big pieces of plastic with sticky crap all over it. So the mouse walks on it, gets stuck. You can't pull the mouse off because you rip their little feet off. So you just throw them in the trash can alive and they starve to death and dehydrate and everything. So there you go. That's so much more humane. I could offer ideas for better, but this is a family channel. (1958) William Shea outlines plans for a $12 million stadium at Flushing Meadows. Flushing Meadows? Sounds kind of shitty to me, but okay. Flushing Meadows. Where the hell do they come up with the names for this stuff? No, I've not heard of Flushing Meadows before. Where is Flushing Meadows located at? I've never heard of that before. It is rather commonly known. Well, I mean, I know it's in New York, but I've never heard of that before. I love the names people come up with for these locations and stuff like that. Weren't we just talking about names the other day, like Salt Lick, Beaver Lick, and shit like that? It is in Queens, New York City. There's a site, 1964 World's Fair. See TV shows filmed in the city. You see the large sculptures. World's Fair, that is Flushing Meadows. Okay. All right. I never knew that before. Thank you. Intercourse. Yeah, there you go. There's another good one. Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Hell, Indiana. We got Hell, Michigan. I'd love to go there sometime. Just to do a video or something from hell. Of course, you know, you got Ellsworth, Nebraska. I'd like to go there too. Same spelling as my last name. So, you know, there's a pretty good possibility that the people who come up with that name, if they were truly Ellsworths, also came from Ellsworthshire. So that's pretty much the origin of the Ellsworths is Ellsworthshire, south of Cambridgeshire. Sure, Shire, sure. Ellsworthshire, south of Cambridgeshire. All right, Indiana one pays a bit of tourism. The park is named after nearby neighborhoods of Flushing and Corona, which are separated by the park. Okay, we're gonna say I want to do a video from hell. Oh, come on, Sarah. Let's hell together. Wink, wink. The name Flushing is a corruption of the port town of Vlissingen in the Netherlands. By 19th century, the word flushing had become associated with cleansing by rushing water. Very cool. I did not know that, Rusty. Thank you. It could be interesting depending on the concept. In 1961, James R. Hoffa elected chairman of the Teamsters. We all know what happened to him. They're still trying to find him. 1962, U.S. performs nuclear test. There we go. That's what I've missed. I have missed those nuclear tests at the Nevada test site. 1965, Otis Redding records the song Respect at Stax Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. It later becomes a signature piece for Aretha Franklin. So what did you guys think about that video last night? Think about that video premiere. De-extinction. Yeah, it was short. It was short. I wanted to make it longer, but I was tired. I was so tired. I worked all day on just that little tiny video. Next one will be better. Next one will be better, I promise. Uh, 1966, obscenity ban for naked lunch by William S. Burroughs, overturned by the Massachusetts Supreme Court after testimony by Allen Ginsberg and Norman Mailer. I don't see anything wrong with naked lunch. I'd eat lunch naked if I could. I'd do everything naked if I could. (1972) First women FBI members sworn in: Susan Lynn Rowley and Joanne E. Pierce. It's over 5.8 trillion U.S. money in circulation in 2022. The whole repopulation from the dinos is a bad idea, given most human interference in nature. And it's like they said, you know, you'll never find viable dinosaur DNA, but, you know, bringing back things that have been killed off in the last 200 or 300 years due to deforestation or encroachment into their natural habitat, things like that, you know. Family is interesting. I Especially they're bringing back the woolly mammoth. Well, they've been talking about that for years. I don't think we'll see it in our lifetime, but they've been discussing it for years, bringing back the woolly mammoth. Then they found that cave lion cub, and oh man, he's only been dead for, you know, 5,000 years or 10,000 years. He's got real good DNA in him. So who knows? Who knows? I want to get off now. Do we have a rare event? Beautiful sunny day in the UK. I'll try for a walk in the garden. I don't blame you one bit, Tony Lee. You go have yourself a good day. Enjoy that sun, man. Enjoy that sun. I know it's a very, very rare event to have a sunny, nice day in the UK, especially in Britain. So go and enjoy it. Get yourself back up to par, man. I wanna hear you singing again before the year's up. Take care. Have a good day, bud. 1973, all-women board of directors takes control of ABA's Kentucky Colonels. 1973, Shoelace Park in the Bronx is named. There's another one. That was successful. And we were actually discussing that while we were on our trip, was the repopulation, reintroduction in certain areas. We seen quite a few eagles on our trip, and we were talking about Indiana's involvement in the re-release programs 25 years ago. And they wanted to release all natural hunters back into their, or natural animals back into their original areas. So they re-released wolves, they re-released bobcats, they re-released eagles, they re-released beaver, you know, back into the habitat that they were in 300 years ago. So, you know, around the reservoirs, state parks, things like that. Well, then, you know, the wolves started becoming an issue with farmers and stuff. Bobcat didn't really, eagles, no, not really. But the wolves became a big issue with hunters. 1976, 119 women joined a corps of cadets, establishing the first class of women in U.S. military academy at West Point. Got to get off, get ready for work. Another long-ass day. Yep, I know, bud. I know. Worst thing about being a manager. Long-ass days. But you take care of yourself. Have a good day. Don't work too awful hard. Remember, delegate, 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 delegate. That's why you have people underneath you. Make them do the shit. 15 years, you've earned the right to sit back and start barking orders after a while instead of taking them. 1950s, there were very few coyotes around. 1976, Lieutenant General Vernon A. Walters, USA, ends term as Deputy Director CIA, succeeded by E. Henry Knox. Same with Whitetail. Now nature starting to cull the deer herd. Yeah, see, we're real big up here in Michigan with deer and turkey. Deer and turkey, deer and turkey, deer and turkey. I mean, to the point where the little buggers are getting, you know, like suicidal. They're like that terrorist that wants to take themselves out but take as many people with them as they can. And you know, many, many times Steph has been driving to or from work. And she has started slowing down because she'll see 2 or 3 turkeys standing at the side of the road. So she slows down to a crawl, and about that time, some 18-pound bird comes flying right past her windshield. You know, like if she wouldn't have slowed down, he would have either hit on her driver's window or she would have hit him driving through. But deer are the same way. I mean, used to be you'd drive down the road, a deer would walk up to the side of the road. He would either shoot across the road or he would turn around and run back. The deer here, they're like ballerinas. They'll stick their head out, they'll look for a car coming, and then when you get right up to it, they'll turn around, take 2 steps, then turn back around and shoot it right out in front of you. They'll either broadside your car or they'll run right into the front of it. Counties we don't have CWD this far downstate yet. We also, especially the deer. Turkeys have been another widely successful repopulation story. Do a guided hunt. I was curious. Do you have a tutu? Oh God, I know where this is going. Do you have a tutu, Sarah? No, Tony, you probably shouldn't let your mind go there, but damn it, it's entertaining. We have deer so bad here. There's always one laying inside the road. I saw a baby deer the other day.
Oh.
Back in '05, a turkey flew into the grill of my auto car truck. Oh wow. Yeah, they'll take out a windshield, man. Nothing's worse than going 50 mile an hour and hitting a 20-pound bird with your windshield. I did when I was 5. We're having a lot of business or bushes around where I live and have a lot of rabbits. See, run out on the road, wrong time. I have one going to be rabbit stew that night. I've seen dudes do that. I have followed dudes through the hills and stuff in their cars and seen them run over a rabbit, slam on their brakes, take it, jump out, throw it up in the trunk of the car, go back to camp and clean it and throw it in a pot with some carrots and potatoes and onions and stuff. Roadkill stew. Nummy. 1980, Jim King completes writing Miracle Strip roller coaster, 368 hours. Uh, 1981, Sandra Day O'Connor nominated for the Supreme Court. First female Supreme Court justice. You know, I kind of remember that. At least I remember her name. I don't remember what the hell she done. Did she do anything? I don't know. Bitch, because they didn't push their chairs back up to the desk when they left? Oh, I don't know. Used to drive 80 miles an hour at a time. I was slow to 60, 65. But no more hitting Bambi. 5 die in train crash in Wilston, Vermont. Good morning, Sean. Good to see you, bud. Happy Friday to you, too. Was it gunmetal? I think it was gunmetal. Said something about guided tours. I'm wanting to do a guided hunt. I've always wanted to do that. Go out on a guided hunt. I've told you guys before, that's like my big dream. Once before I completely lose my eyesight, I want to go on a bear hunt, and I want to go on an elk hunt. Maybe one of these days. But I want to go with somebody that I know that I can trust. So, 1986 IBM PC DOS version 3.2 released. My first PC was a DOS 3.11. 1986 Supreme Court strikes down Gramm-Rudman deficit reduction law. 1987 Kiwanis clubs end men-only tradition, admit or vote to admit women. My eldest daughter and I were going to Wyoming elk hunt. I know I can, Sarah. I know I can trust you. But I had my heart attack first. Well, it ain't seemed to slow you down much, Tony. So you know, it's never too late. Take your little girl out and kill an elk. Or when you get moved down to the homestead, have her come down. I'm sure you got a couple of big meaty deerses down there that could probably stand some taking out. Neither of the following 5 heart attacks. Do you take a trip to New York City? Maybe you get to see a guided hunt. They call them drive-bys. Yep. Mountain hunts are not on the table these days. 1987, Lieutenant Colonel Ollie North begins public testimony on the Iran-Contra hearing. Now, I do remember Ollie. I do remember Oliver North. I remember sitting and watching that. I still haven't decided, though, if he was just the fall guy or if he was the main orchestrator of it. I kind of feel like he was the fall guy. And again, I reiterate the finer points of being a fat, lazy old man and just turning to the left and refilling the coffee up. Trying to find another bottle so I can split the watermelon shine. Oh, okay. Thank you, bud. I appreciate that. 1988, U.S. performs nuclear test about a test site. And 1,075,000 tarantulas scream thank you. And of course he was the fall guy. Yeah, I kind of always figured he was. 1989, concert by the Grateful Dead with Bruce Hornsby in the Ranks becomes final event at JFK Stadium in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 6 days before structure is condemned. Are you drinking this early? No, Ty actually made some watermelon shine, and supposedly this stuff's pretty good. And well, and there you go. And if he started drinking it now, he'd be asleep before noon. 1995 Space Shuttle STS-71 Atlantis 14. 1996, Space Shuttle STS-78 lands. I would have been up for about 6 hours by this time if I wasn't kept up so late on the phone last night. Tyler and Brenna. So guilty. 1997, Tower, Minnesota. Temperatures dips to 24 degrees Fahrenheit. My apologies. Oh, you're fine. I'm just teasing. Sorry, not sorry. It was nice catching up. It was just a rough week. You know, stuff I'm not used to. But I'll tell you what, after doing some of those trails, and the way we did them, that was the huge that was the huge fun part. Because it was trail number 1 is a very rugged trail, and when you wiggle down trail 1, you get down to the river where some of those pictures were taken at, that was there at the end of the video. And then when you come back up out of the river and get back up on the trails, one goes on and curves down the river, or you can pick up number 4 there at the hill. So we thought, okay, you know, we've been out for a couple hours. We've done a couple miles. We'll go on and take 4 for a little different scenery. So we take off on 4 and start going down the trail. Well, then you come to find out that we're doing it backwards. So the 2,500 wooden railroad tie steps that are going up this trail in different locations and stuff, you're supposed to be going down them. So yeah, we wound up doing the last 1.5 miles that we done. We done like 5.5 miles on Monday. And yeah, the last 1.5 miles was all uphill, and it should have all been downhill. So, but it didn't tell you which way until you got out of the trail, and it said now entering trail 4. Oops. But the really cool thing about it was that though I thought my wife was going to have a stroke and fall out doing all this, and you know, I was, by the time we got to about the 3.5 mile mark, I was feeling great. My knees weren't hurting, my hips weren't hurting, my back wasn't hurting. I had my walking stick with me, and we were just cutting it. I was loving it. I am so ready to go on to go on alone and beat all those kids on that competition. I was out there pointing out plants and IDing different plants you could eat, and you know, it's stuff that I haven't done in so long I had forgotten I knew it. But man, it came back quick. Let me see here. Dallas, Texas, lone gunman shoots, kills 5 police officers, wounding others during protest march. Fatal police shooting African Americans. 2017 Tesla Motor produces the first mass-marketed car to Model 3. United Nations nuclear weapon ban treaty adopted. New York's without participation in nuclear countries. Mississippi closes all its beaches due to toxic algae bloom due to flooding of the Mississippi River. Had wine and OJ this morning. It's supposed to be champagne. Yeah, it's a mimosas, champagne, and but hey, wine works, I guess. Texas records more 10,000 daily cases of COVID-19 for the first time. Texas advantage. 2022, U.S. scientists began to search for dark matter with a device in a former gold mine in Lead, South Dakota. Besides that, it's too early for brunch. This is still the breakfast time period. Brunch should be in about another 45 minutes, or give or take 75 minutes. When you sit out on the veranda with your mimosa and your little breakfast scramble, and sit and talk about the final things in life. It does. You are right, Tony. It does completely depend on what you are brunching on. I might take a watermelon shot for brunch. I think I'm just going to eat some watermelon for brunch. No, I won't have time. By the time this ends, I'm going to have to get in there, get shaved, find out what outfit I'm wearing up to talk to Sonny here in a bit, and take off walking. Hopefully it's not that bloody hot already. Let's see here. I don't believe that. It says it's only 59 degrees right now. I don't believe that. Nope, 67, and that's why I didn't believe it. How about that? Wish that damn thing had auto update. And that's the way it was on this date in history. Thank you, Rusty. We're gonna change the name up. It's not gonna be today in history anymore. It's gonna be this date in history. I like that. And that's the way it was on this date in history. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. That was pretty good. And it's been so long, man. Been too long. Loved it. Loved it. 4 fingers and a thumb, Tyler. Man the hell up. There you go. I put frozen strawberries in it. And it was hard to get down. I'm not biting on that one either. Nope. Mama didn't raise no sucker. I am not touching that sucker with somebody else's 10-foot pole. Or something with rhinestones. I might almost wish I had a pink leather cowboy outfit with white fur around the brim of the hat. I'd wear that down there. But then again, Sonny knows me, knows what I do, and knows my sense of humor, so it probably wouldn't even affect him. He'd just smile when I walked in, and that'd be about the extent of it. Put your hands on the side of the glass, pour 4 fingers deep On Monday, the average global temperature reached 17.01 degrees Celsius, 62.62 Fahrenheit, the highest in U.S. National Centers for Environmental Production's data. Yeah, I was going to say something. I'm glad you did mention that. I heard yesterday that we just experienced the hottest 4th of July on record. The temperature was, I think they said, 6 degrees higher than it has ever been before on the 4th of July. So believe you me, we felt it out there in the woods until we got down, into the caves and the ravines and stuff like that. When we like dropped our elevation, because we were on average for a couple of those. Well, Trail 1, there are locations that are 75 and 100 feet lower than the rest of the woods, and it was actually very, very cool down in the caves and stuff because they were very, very moist. They were very wet, but yeah, sitting up in camp, it was just straight up humid. I mean, to the point where you had trouble breathing once in a while. And even further, reaching 17.18 degrees Celsius. Global temperatures remained at this high record on Wednesday. Previous record 16.92 Celsius on August 2016. Too many condom ads, breathing in and out. Nothing wrong with wet fingers. I'm not even going to say anything about losing control. I'm not pulling the car over. We're not turning the car around. We're just going to keep right on going. Letting Tony have his Yep. Yep. I have said nothing bad. It's all up to y'all's minds. I know, and that's what's so cool about it, Tony. That's what's so cool about it. You make those statements and stuff that are teetering on, but they're still fun. Oh, goodness gracious sakes. Jan must be working this morning. Not seen her all week. Not talked to her at all this week. She must be working like a Hebrew slave, y'all. I just finished my second wine, and I'm done until 2 p.m. Good girl. Think I'm slipping on my country boy instincts. I just sprayed a wasp nest on carport days ago. Just almost got stung parking the truck. I should have knocked them down, destroyed the nest. Yeah, that's something we always had to do when we would spray a nest. We would knock that sucker down and stomp on it. Well, yeah, we would. 2 wines mixed with OJ. We got to come up with a new name for that drink because that's not a mimosa. That could be a homomosa or a Ojo mimosa or something. I don't care. It's okay. Gunmetal. I have one in between my windows. I don't know how it got there. Doggone it, we're starting to fog over again. I didn't mix the second one. Juan Mosa. Mufasa. Wimosa? Wimosa? Onosa. Oh no. Get this in my wasp nest. I've gotten. I got to the pearly gates. I don't even want to think about it. After what those ground hornets done to me 2 summers ago, I don't even want to think about a wasp nest. You guys remember that when I got hit in the face when I was out mowing? Those ground hornets come up and one of them hit me here, one of them hit me up here. I still got a lump right there where that one hit me right on the side of the bridge of my nose. I thought I was going to die that day. I was scared to death. Really in between the windows. How they even do that? They find a hole and they utilize it. You didn't use the great panty evaporator Boone's Farm. The panty evaporator. Boone's Farm. Boone's Farm does have a tendency of making their panties fall off, don't it? Cheapest damn wine you can buy. $2 something a bottle. And poof, it can make a pair of $35 underwear vanish in 2.2 seconds. It was scary gunmetal, that's for sure. Especially since, my mom and dad are both suffer from anaphylaxis. They both carry EpiPens with them. So when I got hit in the face, it was like, oh, 911, 911. And one of our friends that's a police officer here come rushing over, and EMTs came in. Needless to say, I was taking pills for the next couple of days for allergies and stuff like that. Then I come to find out the ground hornets don't really have a venom, so yeah. Make this shit. Panty evaporator, that's brilliant. I'm using that. I had West Virginia blackberry wine. Ooh, that sounds good. I've not had blackberry wine in a long time. That sounds really good. Yeah, Strawberry Hill. Yep, you got it, bud. You got it. Strawberry Hill from Boone's Farm. The panty evaporator. Why can't you hear rabbits making love? Because I have cotton balls. True that. True that. took advantage of a fair number of girls at Boone's Farm, I'm somewhat ashamed to say. And you get full-blown arm scratch, allergy test. You're allergic, be sure. Brother is, I'm not sure of me. I believe this link to a video. There's Final Destination. Obviously fishing, never raised rabbits. Well, I don't know about when they're reproducing, but I know when they're dying, they're little screamers. There ain't nothing any. I was out doing a historic encampment one time, way out in the country, and we heard a bunch of coyotes out in the field on the other side of the woods during the night, and then all of a sudden you just heard the most hair-raising. Apparently they were just tearing some little fluffy bunny all to bits. Same winter. One of the old men there at camp was sitting there around the fire with us, and he said, "Yep, them cows just got a hold of a bunny. They're torturing him. They're playing with him before they kill him." Man, we got less than a half hour left. I know I always say time flies, but my God, when you've not done this for a few days, you don't realize just how fast it goes. But then again, it could be too the fact that I'm really kind of excited about going up to the bar, and it's just a nice place. It's so much cleaner. He has sunk a buttload of money. Sonny and his wife Vinny are from India. They're from northern India. They've been here in town for, God, probably 20 years. And they started off with, they started off with a marathon station. And he's got to that point where young men from India who want a better life and want to move to America. He's bought a couple houses here in town. He'll bring the guys over here. He'll give them a place to live for free. They work for him for a year, then they go off someplace else in the country. We've had friends that have come over from Dubai, and now they're in California, they're in Washington, they're in Colorado, they're in New Mexico, they're in Missouri. But awesome people. They bought the old bar uptown. They completely remodeled it inside and out, modernized everything, all new equipment. I mean, you could eat off the floors in this place, and that's what I like about it, is it's clean. And just recently, they bought a hotel in South Bend, Indiana. And I know the hotel will be the exact same way because his wife is awesome. when it comes to being a stickler on cleanliness and modernization and stuff like that. So I never liked bars. I don't mind them when I can drink at them. We don't really have drunk guys there is the whole point. We don't really have drunk guys there. Steph's aunt works up there as a bartender, and Isla is super, super good about watching the guys and making sure that they don't surpass their limits. She's pissed a few people off, but she's got no problem throwing you out when you can't stop at that threshold. Got to split the kids. All right, Rusty. It's good seeing you again, man. You take care of yourself. Have a good day with the grandbabies, and we'll catch you later, bud. Good morning, Ian. You ornery cuss. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. You might not like that one, Sarah. My imagination may embarrass the hell out of you. Don't trust my imagination. I got a rub too. Sarah, you dirty girl. Oh, you mean go, like rub out, like, yeah, laundry and homework. Gotcha. Well, hopefully tonight, when we're on here, I'll have good news for everybody about this job. So we'll just have to wait and see. It already sounds like it's going to be pretty good news. But Sarah, you have yourself a good day, hon, and get your stuff done and study. Make us all proud, prouder than we already are, and we'll catch you later, hon. Of course, I had me a couple guests late Monday afternoon there at camp. Wookie and KG showed up at camp since he don't live too awful far away from there. Um, the newly betrothed um, couple, Mr. and the future Mrs. Wookie, showed up and hung out for about an hour. I did, however, find out, and this really, really upset me. I did find out that raccoons love the smell of tobacco. They didn't actually tear into the tobacco, but they were doing everything in their power to tear into the package. Which is really kind of funny because we left it sitting on the picnic table that first night, and I found it on the ground the next morning with the plastic just all ripped up on it. So I did find out that raccoons love the smell of gold tobacco. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think she is. I don't think she is. Best coon bait I ever found was strawberry preserves. Makes sense. It's sweet, aromatic. That makes sense. Nah, I think she's just tired of Kentucky. I don't know what she's going to do if she moves to Indiana, though. She can't be Kentucky girl anymore if she's going to have to be displaced Kentucky girl or something like that if she moves to Indiana. Piss on that. He must go to Kentucky. Nah. All masked villains smoke tobacco in the classic movies. You got a good point, Gunner. You got a real good point. All, all masked all masked villains smoke tobacco in the classic movies. I love that. I use mackerel for raccoon bait. Dude, if I can afford mackerel, I'm using it for Drew bait. I'm sure as hell ain't gonna put it out for a damn trash panda. If I can afford mackerel, I'm gonna use it for Drew bait. You just don't even find mackerel around here anywhere. You find frickin' whitefish and oh God, what else? My God, smelt. Which I mean, they get smelt right out of the Great Lakes, so it's no wonder. Um, you got a point. Also, I love in classic movies. Everybody wears a suit and a hat and looks sharp. We need to go back to that. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I used to catch live coons, train dogs. That's the one cool thing about living in a small country village is we have coons right here. We just don't have them in force like we did at the campsite. Hell, my wife's son has gone over across the street and helped the old black man across the street shoot a coon right there in his living room because it came in through a hole in his overhang on his house and went down inside the wall, chewed through the drywall, and was running loose in his house. And he was running around with a gun, 90 some odd years old, chasing this coon around his house with a gun, and wound up getting Steph's son to come over and help him corner it so he could shoot it right there in his damn house. And he probably ate it, to be honest with you. This dude's old school hunter. Just last year, his kids made him sell the hunting cabin and stuff up north. Even at 94 years old, that old man was taking off for 2 or 3 weeks every summer and going up about 2 hours north of here, 2.5 hours north of here. And he had like 10 acres of ground and a little hunting cabin. And he'd go up there and just hunt. Come back with coolers full of meat. So he apparently at his age was still doing it, but they didn't like him being up there for 2 weeks out in the middle of BFE by himself. So they made him get rid of the place. Okay, it's only 88 cents a can here. Psst, not here. You don't find mackerel here. You find tuna. Tuna. We got coon all over town here. Most critters are very adaptable. supposed to be great barbecued. Yeah, coon is horribly greasy. Coon is very greasy. Um, you got to do a lot with it to make it a good meal. But I mean, once you get it worked out and get the grease problem straightened up, it's not bad eating. It's not bad eating. Let me describe his way. Made it 94, living the old way. Oh, he's still going too. He's 95 or 96 now. Um, but yeah, he's still doing it, bud. He's still kicking. Drives 20 mile an hour down the road, shuffles his feet when he walks. But I'll tell you what, you're not going to find a sweeter old man. And he's kind of like a 96-year-old black version of Tony. Loves his guns. Loves his guns. I bet he's got 30 guns over in that house right now. And that's after he let somebody come and live with him and they stole a bunch of guns from him. He's got some original old war pieces. He's got he's got old Henrys. He's got old Winchesters. He's got a couple of trapdoors. Old Derringers. Sweet old man. Talks like this 'cause he's deaf. Can't hear a damn thing. You could set off fireworks in the room next to him. He'd sleep through them. But a fun to hang around. I'll bring a couple cans when I come up. Sounds good. I've not had mackerel in forever. Mr. Ian. Mr. Ornery Butt Ian. We got to get together, bud. We got to get back out to Silverbrook. Do some more playing around out there. Hell, I like him already. He's the kind of dude that you can't help but like. The oldest would be a Remington 742 from 1961. He's got some guns that are a lot older than that. I'll tell you that right now. This old man knows his guns. Ain't touched half these guns in probably 25 years. But he loves his guns. Sounds like good people. I'm still trying to figure out my friend. His acquired taste. Don't care much about old guns. I like old guns that are still operational. I'm just waiting to see what kind of surprise Tony has for me this year. You know, that's my big thing. He keeps telling me he's got something in the works, and I'm just waiting to see, because I'm going to name that gun Anthony, and I'm probably going to get buried with it. So most likely a Hawken. Yeah. Can't wait. Can't wait to take my first deer with that. I love the history. I don't care about having them. I need to do a video on guns. On the history of firearms. I think that'd be a pretty cool video. Talk about the whole history of guns. Things that make you go, hmm. Oh, now see, that'd be cool, a Hawkins kit. Yeah, money-wise, it honestly is the best value. And when you put it together, you get to customize it yourself. Instead of buying somebody else's production work or whatever. It is. It's probably the best value for the money, just to buy a kit. And the really cool thing about buying a kit where everything's disassembled and stuff is you can ship it through the mail. You don't got to worry about shipping it to a gun dealer or something like that. You can ship it straight through the mail when it's all taken apart like that. That's because people are, you know, be honest about it. I mean, think about it. You can people are worried about what the future holds, and they're stockpiling. That's like black powder. You know, when all the brass and everything was disappearing from the sporting goods stores and stuff like that, you could still always find black powder. And now it's come to the point where people are so unsure about the future, they're even going out and buying up cases of black powder when the black powder hits the stores, when the shipments come in. People are buying that stuff up like crazy. We, Mike and I, used to go to a place up here in Kalamazoo, and they used to have piles and piles and stacks and displays of black powder. And he went up there one day last year, and there was no black powder. So a lot of Pyrodex, but no black powder. Not for at least 3 years. Sounds like I might need to investigate doing the same. Damn it. I knew that was going to happen. Well, Drew, I got to head out for now. Got to call Mike, make breakfast for the kids, shower. I'll get a hold of you sometime. Hey, do me a favor, Tyler, before you come out here, do something with that thing on your face, that wombat that you got growing on your chin. You know, trim that sucker up, look good. You know, if nothing else, cut that long mustache back in. Get that little piece right there. Get rid of all this stuff here. Womb broom. There you go. I like that. Do something about that womb broom, bud. Looks terrible. Looks terrible. You look like a old tree that's got moss growing all over it. You are far too pretty of a young man to have all that fuzz on your face. Show off some of that natural young prettiness. But yeah, I'll talk to you later, bud. I'll talk to you soon. Sometime today, anyway. I don't have the balls to make black powder. I don't blame you. Wait for Gunny to write these down. Womb room. There's the sheet. Paper, write down all the cool phrases. Yeah, honestly, Gunny, I gave up on it. I start having lists laying all over my desk of things Tony has said that are just frickin' hilarious, and I want to use them myself. I just finally gave up. I mean, y'all can't see much of what's going on down here, but, ink pen stays right here by my side, and I got a piece of paper right here underneath the computer, and I could just write. But I finally gave up. I started having little notes taped everywhere, and yeah, it's supposed to be easy enough to do. Yep. He comes over with some great stuff. Mustache being a flavor saver, but Tony, he goes deep. Yes, he does go deep, which is precisely why he was the womanizer of his general vicinity when he was a younger man, because Tony always goes deep, just like he's drilling a well, always trying to tap oil. That off the cuff shit ain't much, but it's classic. It's classic stuff, though. It's things that, we can bring up later on, 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road. And it's like, oh my God, where'd you come up with that at? Tony. I heard he was a D-man. He was a G-man at one time. Might as well throw in a few other letters with it. I got to admit, though, Tony is one dude that I would seriously, absolutely frickin' cherish getting to hang out with and spend some time with him. Because if he can be this ornery and fun on a live stream, could you imagine sitting across the table over a couple cups of coffee or something like that and letting him just go? It'd be some of the greatest times of my life right there, getting to spend time with Tony and listen to his banter and shit. Rather quiet in person. I just can't imagine that, bud. After seeing you on here and hearing you and Jimmy on your shows, I just can't imagine you being a quiet person. I really honestly can't. But all right, guys, it is that time. It is time for me to be like a fat baby and head out. Time for me to be like a tree and leave. Time for me to be like a bunch of birds and get the flock out of here. I got to get all trimmed up and get myself looking pretty to go up there and meet with Sonny. And he's quiet until his spirits start following the fermented guy. Yep. So y'all wish me luck. I'm pretty sure I'll have good news for y'all tonight. We will be on tonight 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't know what we're going to do, but it'll be fun. Maybe I'll find some kind of a new trivia or some bullshit. I don't know. Sean, you have a good day too. Take care. Have a blessed day, my friend. Brooke, you take care, sweetie. Good to see you this morning. Hope things are going well out there in New York. I'm sure it's hot. I'm sure it's smoky. But it's life. So, but you guys all take care. Have a great day. And we will be on tonight. So, that'll be another great time tonight, my friend. It'll be another great time tonight. So, but you guys all take care. Have a good day. And we'll catch y'all tonight. See you later.